welcome and a very good morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing very well today and you're ready to kickstart your day with me, Mehmood, early on World this morning on PTV World. Today we have a very interesting show to you, something that I find very interesting. As you know, we're going to be talking about the cultural aspects of Pakistanis living abroad. We're going to talk about why they leave, what they do when they are abroad, and when you get to the second, third, fourth generation, why is there less traffic of people coming back to their motherland? So we're going to be discussing that. We've been joined by some people from abroad. We've been represented by Australia and by England today, and we've been joined by some wonderful guests who are going to discuss the different social aspects of living in different countries, what it's like, what are the difficulties, and how can we bridge the gap actually to connect the kids in UK, in Australia, in America to Pakistan, to their heritage. So to discuss all these things, we have been joined by Tariq Mehmood Mirza. He is a businessman and an author, and he is also part of Urdu International Australia. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum salam, good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me in your show.
Thank you. Besides Tariq Mehmood Mirza, we've been joined by Mohammed Nazir. He is a solicitor and an anchor person at Wasco Brown in England. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning,
today.
Pakistan.
Yes, and other countries as well.
And the globe.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so it's a really important subject that we're discussing today. There's a lot of people, we're living in a very globalized world these days. So I'm going to start with you, Nazir. First of all, why do you think that people initially leave Pakistan?
The most important thing is if we look at the first generation who left Pakistan, they left for the economic reasons. And then we go to second and third generation.
Yep.
Then mostly people went for education and qualifications. And when they got good opportunity and better opportunities, they stayed there. And last but not least, that when people completed their qualification, when they came back, and the kind of recognition, the kind of reward, or the kind of atmosphere they want to work, they could not find it, and that's why they have to go back. But mostly, very important, apart from economic reasons, there are also social reasons, there are economic reasons, and there are also reasons which are, you may say linked with the law and order also, linked with the legal reasons, social reasons, and these are the aspects which, kept people away from that. But most important and fundamental point is that why now the second and third generation are wide,
we will get to that. We will get to that point as to why they're staying away, and you've highlighted a few of those points and how we can get them back. But let's talk about Australia. Tell us, what is the situation in Australia?
Australia is a very peaceful country. For living, it's nice weather, nice people, good beaches, of course, which is very famous, and everything is perfect for living. And obviously, still we miss our country, we miss our homeland, same time. But as my colleague has mentioned, I mean, the different reasons why you are there, but at the same time, like we are not only enjoying over there, we miss our country and miss our values and everything. If people get opportunities back in homeland to come and live it here, I think the people will come. But the still circumstances are not being a change for a long time, and things are getting worse and worse. And still we're hoping, we love to our country and want to come back here.
Okay, so there is still that aspect that people want to return, especially if they've moved and they weren't born there. Okay, now going forward, let's talk about the cultural gaps. When you said some of the reasons why people go there is for the social and economic reasons. So we know the economic reasons. You have the job security, pensions, health, etc. Now, when they come here, the situation is completely different. So how can people be prepared over there to come back, or should they not come back? What do you think?
I think it's country of their origin, and in literary language we say it's their motherland. Why not they should come? But the first thing is we have to see that why there's a gap is created between these two societies. And most important thing is that the responsibility of society, and if we'll talk civil society, and at the same time the people in power, how they can create an atmosphere, a wow factor that people should come back. And even in recent years, I have seen certain companies, certain organizations, they have created such perks, job securities, health facilities, and all these aspects. So they are giving a lot of security and facilities to their staff. So these are the elements which are attracting people coming back and work here. But there's a lot of things needs to be done.
Okay. Now, in regards to getting people to come back or getting them the desire, when people move to England, for example, that's where you're from, the Pakistani community is very strong in the sense that they stick together in certain areas. They have a strong cultural identity. They're able to celebrate their festivities, their religion, their culture. Now, despite having such a strong sense of cultural heritage from Pakistan, why are they still reluctant to come back? We've talked about, okay, the economic thing. We can't find a solution here. What are the ways? What are the alternatives?
I think there is, first thing we have to see that if overseas Pakistani can go there and they can produce fantastic results in education, in economics, in sports. Moeen Ali, Amir Khan, these are the examples, and so on. I can count so many personalities in politics. I can name Lord Nazir Ahmed, Lord Qurban Hussain, Lord Tariq. There are so many people. Saida Warsi. There's countless people. There's so many personalities. But my question is, if these people for this origin, for this motherland, they can go there, they can make that society a wow factor. They can say, wow, this is the success stories. So if these people can go there and create successful stories, why not here? So we have to look into the missing elements, missing bridges. So those bridges are, according to I might be wrong, this is my personal opinion, that we have to convince our younger generation that Pakistan, there is a safety there. And also I will also mention there that the media sensation, certain media outlets, they create the breaking news in a way. They give to law and order. Some situations are in every country. If we'll talk about New York, I can name London. There are certain areas. Issues are there in the whole globe. But the way sometimes media portrays, it is also negativity. And the second thing is that when our kids goes to our embassies for their issues, like if they want to get the visa, if they want to sort out their origin cards. So the embassy staff, the people, and especially very important that when people come on the airport, because I will say airport is the first welcoming spot for them. When the kids comes there and the staff, how they behave, how they treat them, and especially there are certain incident I want to quote here, which is very unfortunately, especially people from Kashmir origins, people from Rawalpindi, which is called Potwar area. There are so many situations where overseas Pakistani came to their motherland, they came across and they face some law and order situation. There are certain incidents, I don't want to name them because of some confidentiality reason,
course,
but there are certain incidents. There were some robberies and all these armed robberies. So now people feel scared to come here. But yes, Pakistan is a fertile land. If these our country can produce such a phenomenon, personality, immense talent, beautiful country. So the only thing is there are some missing gaps which government, civil society, and as our city, as an individual, we have to fill these gaps.
Absolutely.
And of course we can create so many success stories.
Absolutely. Okay, so let me ask you, Tariq, in Australia, what kind of work do you do in regards to connecting the Pakistanis over there with the cultural aspect of Pakistan?
Well, we are lucky basically the country, Australia, they have given us a lot of rights and opportunities to keep our culture and our language and our children in touch with our heritage and with our religion. So we got full freedom to do whatever we like. It's a multicultural society, and government not only encourages but actually they support the multicultural. And legally we got full protection. Financially we got all the rights and all the support from the government. So, and then we take the advantage of this one, and basically we are in touch with our basically culture and our language, our religion. We got the mosques, we got the Islamic centers, we got the Pakistan centers, and we got the organization which we use our languages. For example, I belong to Urdu International of Australia. We organize the literary big events, international events, and then local events like a monthly basis. So the government not only give us the freedom to do that, but actually they support us. Okay. So which is very, very, I feel very proud and lucky that Australia is also our country, and they give us so many opportunity.
Okay.
And,
okay, now in regards to this, it's very important, which Tariq has just highlighted, is the fact that within Australia, it's multicultural. You know, they've been given the rights. The kids have been raised in that environment.
Yeah.
Now, when you get them visiting over here, it is very different. So maybe that is one of the reasons why kids tend to, not, come back to Pakistan or move to Pakistan once they're older. How do you think that, as first or second generation in the UK Pakistani, how do you think you can play a role in creating a better environment within Pakistan, so that maybe your grandchildren, if they want to look at a job in Pakistan, can consider it?
As I mentioned, that the most important thing is the society, and when we talk about society, we talk different aspects, law and order, justice, and all these things.
I know, but we're a social show, so we're not going to touch on the law and order.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about socially. What can we do as British Pakistanis or Australian Pakistanis to create a better environment in Pakistan?
I think, first of all, that individuals has to play a very vital role.
Yeah.
That we have to create a society where everybody accepts each other's difference.
Okay.
So, for example, if somebody belief is different than me, I have to accept that, yes, we have some differences, but we have so many things which we can share.
Yeah.
For example, if my class fellow is from different sect, from different religion, we have to accept that. At the same time, we share so many things together. We are studying in the same university, we are studying the same office. So these are the things we have to promote here. And I think
But how do we do that?
in education syllabus, we have to introduce new, I will say, new chapters that, and also the most important thing is, I will suggest the government that there should be comparative studies of religion. So all the religions, of course, Islamic studies is compulsory, and it must be compulsory.
Yeah.
But beside that, there should be also some other tours for the students, and for the kids, they should go to the other religion places to see the other people's worship places. They should see the society should learn that what are the difference. And if we'll talk about the Islamic history, if we will talk about the very first Islamic history, an Islamic state set up by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in Medina, it's good for our viewers that different religion, people of different religion were living in
Exactly.
Medina Park, but at the same time, they were a very cohesive, very mixed society, and where everybody was believing in their own faith, but at the same time, they
Living
were
together.
enjoying their own liberties.
Okay.
So we have to take to the people to the same state of the situation. We have to educate the people, and I think the education is the most important passport which we can take it to the future.
I
Absolutely.
think that the tolerance is the basic key. Actually, if you have the tolerance in the society, that can create so many opportunity. Basically, this is the problem in our society at the moment. We don't have like a tolerance. We don't accept the other people's views, and we become like so aggressive while like accepting the other things. If we keep accepting and keep accept their views and everything, then our society will become the paradise. I mean, in Australia, as I mentioned before, different religions live there. I can see the mosque, Islamic center, next there is a temple, then there's a church next to each other. There is no problem at all. So people, even sometimes we visit to them, and I can give you the example, sorry, I've got some problem with my throat,
It's
but
fine. No, don't worry.
yeah.
There's this flu
So,
going around.
yeah, there was a mosque in certain area of the Sydney, and basically the mosque we bought from the other society. They had church before, and because people were not going there, they sold it. We bought it and we made it a mosque.
Wow.
And then the few people still wanted to come and want to worship on Sunday morning. So we gave them one room there in the mosque.
Great.
So they come and they do like practice their religion in the mosque. And before we bought that, we used to their rooms to pray inside. So this is the tolerance.
Okay.
So if we have this kind of things here, so there's no reason that people will not come back.
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
I think the basic key is there.
So that tolerance is absolutely one of the main reasons. Okay, now another aspect socially is these societies that we have. So, for example, Mr. Tariq is part of the Urdu International Australia. So, in the UK, for Sheffield, for example, what kind of work is being done to bridge these gaps, to kind of show the kids over there? Because they're also over here. Sometimes maybe things have progressed and evolved quite a lot in Pakistan, but within UK, within certain areas, things are still very traditional, very much in the 1990s to early 2000s. How are you kind of keeping the Pakistani youth abroad up to date with the developments here?
It's worth mentioning here, and it's a very good question. Every year we celebrate 23rd of March. We also celebrate Pakistan Independence Day.
Yep.
And it's a great honor for me that I am part of that team.
Okay.
And this year on 14th of August, we celebrated and we did 3 parties on one day.
Oh, wow.
One in the
Okay.
morning, one in
Okay.
afternoon, and one in the evening.
Okay.
And the families and kids were involved in it. And especially the kids presented beautiful national songs, and also they did tableaus in which they represented Pakistan. And especially I can share sometime some pictures which is also on social media on my page. So the kids are presenting Pakistan Army, also their representation of the Kashmir, KPK,
Excellent.
Punjab, all the areas, Sindh. So these are the beauties we can share with our indigenous community, that look, we have a very rich culture, we have a very strong religion, values, which I think we need to present. And similarly, as we mentioned, that's why we celebrate Pakistan Independence Day there. And these are the activities which can educate the kids. Look, your forefathers, your parents have such a strong history, strong heritage, strong culture, so you have to go back. But yes, of course, from here, the message should come there that yes, there is a peaceful, things are going there, there's a lot of positiveness thing.
Yep.
So I think that the people who are in the powerhouses, the civil society, they can play vital role. And I will request media from this show that yes, come forward and show the positive face of our homeland, our motherland.
Exactly. So this is why you should promote this show there, because that's what we've been doing for 3 years. That's the whole sole purpose of this show. So now we're going to have to go for a short break, but when you come back, we will continue discussing how to bridge the gap between Pakistanis living abroad and Pakistan. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
इंडियन डीटीएच सर्विस गैर कानूनी है, जिसके कारोबार से हर साल अरबों रुपए गैर कानूनी तरीके से इंडिया मुंतकिल हो रहे हैं। यानी गैर कानूनी चैनल्स के साथ कौमी मईशत पर यलगार। इस गैर कानूनी कारोबार के खिलाफ 15 अक्टूबर के बाद क्रैकडाउन का आगाज किया जा रहा है, जिसके तहत पैमरा और पुलिस की छापामार टीमें पूरे मुल्क में बिला इम्तियाज व तफरीक कार्रवाई करेंगी। मुकदमात पैमरा, कस्टम्स, FBI, PTA, पाकिस्तान पीनल कोड और FIA कवानीन के तहत चलाए जाएंगे। मुलव्वस अफराद को जुर्माने और सजा का सामना करना पड़ेगा। मजीद मालूमात के लिए टोल फ्री नंबर 0800 736 72। जिम्मेदार शहरी बने, कानून की पासदारी करें। पैमरा।
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching World This Morning with me, Mehmood. And before the break, we were in conversation with Tariq, Mehmood, Mirza, and Mohammed Nazir in discussion about the Pakistani youth abroad and how to bridge the gap with them and Pakistan, how to entice them back or entice them to actually visit and actually consider Pakistan as one of the places that they would consider moving to, or, you know, exploring job opportunities. So before the break, we're discussing about the social aspect of it all. Now, going forward, we talked about what activities are held in England in regards to make it, you know, to keep the Pakistani youth up to date with what's happening in Pakistan. How do you do that in Australia?
Well, I mean, we are always talking about how to bring the children back there, but I think the more important is how to in touch with the Pakistan, how to remember our values and all the traditions and all our languages, our religion and all those things. If we are in touch with that one, and obviously we are, and a country like England and Australia, has they given us the opportunity to do that, so we should not be worried too much about these things. Our children are here or over there.
Okay.
So luckily, in both countries are like they've given us opportunities, and I can see in Australia people are like very much in touch with their culture, their values, their traditions, their dresses, their foods, and all those things are still revived there. Restaurants are very, very busy there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's not, we don't miss that much in that point of view, because we celebrate Pakistan Day, 23rd March, and all the religious days, and the children's are also, and as I mentioned before there, like we remember, we also revived the languages and cultures. So people are writing the books in Urdu. So this is luckily we will live over there, and still like we are in touch with the Pakistan.
Okay,
And
so
this
now,
is a good thing for the children also.
Okay, you mentioned about books and stuff, but you've written books yourself. So tell us about that.
Well, I'm writing the stories and all those things from the long time basically, but I've written 3 books so far. This is the book Khushboo Ka Safar. That's actually my travelogue. I traveled all over the Europe in 2000, and then written about all my experiments and all experiences and the people I met over there. It's a very interesting book, and published in Islamabad in 2008 by those publications. And the other one is the stories I've been writing for a long time and published in the different magazines already. Then I collected it, and I compiled it and made it a book. And the third one is on the way. That's Safar-e-Ishq. That's my actually travelogue of a Hajj.
Okay.
I've been for Hajj in 2013,
Okay.
3 years ago.
So why are you writing these books?
Well, I think this is a God-gifted thing, and I want sometime like, you know, okay, I want to express something, and I want, when I feel badly something, I feel something inside my, which like asking me to write. For example, this the last book which I mentioned, Safar-e-Ishq, that was about the Hajj. I never thought before I go there that I will write a book about that one. Even I did not take any notes or anything. I did not take any picture. But when I came back, the things were keep me like coming back to in my minds again and again. It was haunting me. It was asking me. It was just remembering me. So just like it's basically when I felt too much about that one, then I took the pen and started writing.
Okay, and actually these books are very good as well for people because they're written in Urdu, so that means that people who are unable to travel to other countries are. It's okay, don't worry, that
Sorry
happens.
about that.
No worries. So they can experience it if they can't actually go there themselves. Now, okay, now let's move on to Mr. Nazir. Now we're talking about trying to make it more. What's the word I'm looking for? Desirable for people to come back to Pakistan because it'll help the economy, it'll help the society, etc. Now, what we've noticed is that we're sitting here talking about, the youth, Pakistani youth should come back, or we should send them here, but we have a lot of first or second generation parents sitting there, and they have children. Now, the thing is, those parents have spent their youth there. They spent their lives there. They had kids there. Then they decide to send their children back here. Now, why are they sending their children back and not themselves? Why are they not coming all together? Or why is it the insistence that the child should come back?
I think we should make sure that we are not saying that the kids should be sent here permanently or they should live here permanently. What I want to make this clear that this missing element which is going, and this gap is going bigger and bigger and bigger. If we talk about first and second generation, we should not forget they went there with a very less knowledge, with less education, but this, our third, second and fourth generation, they are much qualified, they have good experience of society, they have a knowledge, they should transform this knowledge to this society.
Okay.
And similarly, they have a lot of skills. But now, so it's like a clap. When we talk about clap, it is two-way traffic.
Okay.
So if you want to clap, you need two hands put together.
Right.
So clap is coming from that, traffic is coming from that side, but from there, this society, from Pakistan, the clap should go in a similar speed. So
Okay.
that could be a good factor. And I think it could be good for both societies. If these societies will work in coalition and they work together, that will be good for good for the both countries. And again, the missing elements are, as we mentioned there, on the airports, how they are getting welcome, how they are being checked, how they've been searched, how they've been welcomed by the staff. And then similarly, when they go out in the society, how they are welcomed, how they have been presented by a shopkeeper. I'll give you so many stories that if a person is going to a shopkeeper, if he has been misrepresented or God forbid he has not been given a very good product, then obviously this is a not good image. So as a society we should learn, if we are selling something or if we are buying something, so we are working as an ambassador of our country, whether
Exactly.
we are here in this society or we are overseas.
But
So
if
we
you
have to-
expect, if you want something for cheap, then obviously the quality is probably going to be cheap too. So people also need to be willing to pay for good stuff as well. So that's kind of the whole give and take with the whole shopping aspect. Okay, now in regards to the image, like how people are treated when they come here. Now, the thing is, that's fine. I understand that. Now, when people are coming from abroad to Pakistan, do you think that they are ready for how the society is or not?
To be honest, people are ready. They want to come. I'll give you an example. If somebody has, unfortunately, somebody has a death in family, when they come here, that is also a very, I think, a very tense experience.
Right.
And after that, the second phase is the transfer of property,
Okay.
the transfer of funds, the transfer of money from the bank accounts here.
Right.
Then they feel and they then go into the court system and the legal system that the difficulties they face. For example, you can see that a person who is working full time in UK society or in Australian society, maximum holidays they can take is 4 weeks. And can they resolve their all issues or the legal, all the steps and all the hurdles within 4 weeks? The question is, and the answer is no. So these things needs to be addressed on a very, very urgent basis. So that's why I'm saying that when the kids, the second, third and fourth generation will see our ease, our very flexible Pakistan, a flexible society, of course it is good for this society and of course good for the other society.
Absolutely. Okay, now going for, okay, so we've talked about bridging the gaps. That's what we've spoken about most of the show. Now, the cultural aspect, because that's one of the main reasons. I think, you know, when, even if you live quite a restricted life in the UK, you know, it's still a very different environment within Pakistan, just because of, you know, family and society, etc. Now, the negative image that people have created, which is, you know, you've been exposed to media, you write books. How can we now utilize it to show them that, okay, go and just explore. It's not that dangerous. However, it's also the parents that worry too.
Yeah.
So when the child does come here, the parents are sitting in England or in Australia worrying about what is happening over here. How do we kind of get rid of that fear?
I think it's a very good question, and if I go back to the question which you already asked to Mr. Nazir also,
Yeah.
I will say, yes, we are not ready to come here. Basically, we don't prepare ourselves and we don't prepare our children also, because we always talk about the negative things. We never mention and never talk about the positive things in our country. We got so many good things here too. I mean, we got good food. We got so many places to visit there in the northern area and other places. We got a family system which is very strong. We don't have that many things in over there. We don't have all the family ties and people love to each other. So many aunties and aunts and all those things. But we have here, we don't have all those things over there. So, and then plus, you know, our freedom in the different ways, like a religious way. We got the Islamic center. We got the halal food everywhere. It's available. It's cheap. The prices are less. We got opportunity if you run the business there. You don't have to pay too much tax actually. If someone wants to run the business, I mean, if in Australia we pay 30%, that's the minimum for every single dollars what we make. So in Australia, in Pakistan, the tax is also less. Government also give the facilities. Basically, we expect the things what we have over there. This is not fair. This is Pakistan, and that's just like a different world. So if we tell to our children, okay, go to the country, which is different culture, different things, and expect some odd things also, so then it will be more easier for them, and they will, I mean, do in room as Romans do. That's the normal thing.
But then how will you ever improve the country if you have that attitude? We need to be at the level of the rest of the world.
But
That's the whole
before
point.
that, you know, before you improve, you have to come and live there. If we come to the airport and start criticizing, okay, this is bad, this is bad, this
But
is
what
bad,
can you do in
then
3
we will not
weeks?
live
No, but
there.
the thing is, how can you make a society better when you're going on a holiday? That's not why you're going on holiday. You're going on holiday to have fun.
No, I mean, if you spend more and more time here, the people will get familiar. I mean, I know some of the family, they spend six months in the UK or Australia and 6 months here, and the children, they come also more frequently, and they get used to. Even I see your boxer, Amr Khan, he comes so frequently and stays in the Gujar Khan in the village.
Yeah, but he can afford to do that. It's not exactly cheap to come back either. So that's another aspect actually, is that coming back to Pakistan, or it's not from Australia, from England, you're paying hundreds and hundreds of pounds. It's not like within Europe, you can travel very easily. There was a deal on one of the airlines, on local airlines in UK, £1 to go to Europe, any country.
But if you let me, to reply,
Yeah.
if you hire a car here with the drivers whole day here, it's maximum 5,000 rupees per day.
5,000 rupees for an expat.
For whole day for the car, including driver. If you hire a taxi in Sydney, half an hour you pay more than that.
Okay,
So
but
this is also good things here.
Can I
that's
mention
true.
one thing here?
Yes, please do.
Sorry for interruption.
No,
I
go
think
for
it's a very good point you have raised that all the airlines, I've not named because of the legal reasons and obviously the media reasons, that all the airlines who are working and who are flying from any countries within Pakistan, the government should work and they should set a price plan, and the whole year the price should be the same. Because when it's a very good thing we have to discuss here at this forum, that when the kids' holiday season comes, they goes price high.
yeah,
So
but
I think-
that's business. How can you ask them to change that?
no, but at the same time, with our national airline, we can do so. Certainly,
Okay.
if the government can give incentive to the business communities, all other communities, why not to overseas Pakistani? And other thing, when any tragedy happens, God forbid, in our country, when flood happens, any earthquake comes, everybody says, overseas Pakistanis are backbone of Pakistan. But I will say, please forget this sentence, make them overseas Pakistanis are heart of Pakistan. And when they will say, will accept this phrase, they are heart of Pakistan, and give them opportunities, give them incentives, I'm sure there will be a very good two-way traffic, and it will be a successful.
Yeah. So that means that the society
This is
within
part of the
Pakistan
things,
needs to do a lot.
That's
Sorry.
right. Yeah, this is part of the things. I mean, sometimes some people like it, the things like they are like a ATM. They make the money and they dispense the notes, and as long as they're dispensing the notes, people love them. And as soon as the money stops coming, and the people start heading to the ATM. So this should not be done basically. But I think the majority of the people, they're still okay. They love their family members, and they're not like that. And still I believe, I mean, this is a country of the opportunities. If someone wants to come, and I'm a businessman, I run the business actually, and I'm just thinking, and I'm just considering, I mean, it's got so many new opportunities here. If someone wants to run the business, I live in housing scheme in Rawalpindi, where the majority of the people came from the overseas, and all the shops and all these things came from also UK and USA.
So,
and
so
all
that's
these
another
things.
aspect
and
of
very
it.
successful there, running the business.
Okay, no. So that's another aspect. So these overseas Pakistanis, when they're coming here to run these businesses, are they practicing the same standards and values that they have abroad in Pakistan, or are they doing what a lot of people do, is taking advantage of the situation?
I think not, but because these things are the runs under the government and the legislation and the laws. When the laws are not there to protect all the customers and these things, people will not do that much practice. I mean, I run the business over there, and I have to follow all the rules and regulations.
No, but I'm saying, but that's the thing. We're talking about bringing people over there. You've raised them in another country where they're used to a certain way of life. You bring them here and you tell them to implement those changes. Do they do that, or do they revert to negative practices?
And as I mentioned before, I live in a particular area, and I got some shops there, and I saw like almost same standard what I saw in the UK and USA.
Great.
In some places, really, they got very good high standard things there.
Okay, wonderful. That's what I was asking. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And we've actually run out of time. So if there's any last words you'd like to share with all our viewers.
Yes, Pakistanis embassies, these are I think that is our picture, and that is our picture. These embassies has to work hard, and especially they can play a vital role to represent Pakistan, and also make overseas Pakistanis to close to their motherland, and they have to play more and more positive role, and they should engage the people.
Yeah.
The only one thing I will openly say, it's not criticism on anybody, they are giving only access to certain community people. The embassies should be open for everybody, and this red tape should be cut, and the access should be for everybody.
Absolutely.
And on equal basis.
Great, thank you. And would you like to say anything?
The same message, but basically, I'll say like all the citizens living abroad and everywhere, wherever they live, basically everyone is ambassador of Pakistan, and they should act as the ambassador. They should do the right thing, and like tolerance and all this, spread the love and peace, and wherever you do the right thing. That's all.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your trip here.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
having me in your show.
Thank you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We were discussing about how to increase the flow of British Pakistanis, Australian Pakistanis, basically Pakistanis all over the world, how to get the youth back here to try and take Pakistan forward. But with that, what we decided was that, you need to be tolerant, there needs to be a lot of work, there needs to be a lot of education and a lot of awareness, and the media also plays a huge role in this as well, in promoting a balanced view of this country. So with that, you log on to our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of World This Morning, our Twitter page, World This Morning without a G, our Daily Motion page, World This Morning, our YouTube page, World This Morning, and the repeat is at 11:05 p.m. this evening. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you bright and early very soon. Bye-bye.
Excellent.